By now, you already know there is a strike and strike in the immigration department and everything is closed. At least this is what food bloggers, travel bloggers, daily bloggers are telling you who have no relationship with immigration. Totally wrong. Yes, it is totally wrong. Hello friends, this is Satvinder Bhatia from Sukhmani Immigration Services, Brampton, Canada. I'm a regulated and licensed Canadian immigration consultant, and today I'll be talking about 3 PNP draws which happened just 2-3 days back, and nobody's talking about it. Everybody is saying everything is closed, which is totally wrong. So what are these 3 PNP draws? What are the details? I'll share everything with you, but before that, a small request. If you are new to the channel and have not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. We talk a lot about Canadian immigration news, update, tips and tricks on this channel. If you like the video, please share it with your family and friends so that they can also benefit. And if you have a file going on with Canadian immigration, or if you want to come to Canada as an immigrant or visa, then this is the channel which you should subscribe. So let's get started on this very important video, which is about 3 PNP draws. 3 recent PNP draws happened, and those 3 draws are shared in detail with you here. So let me talk about the province which is the smallest. In size, this is the smallest province, and it is still so much focused on immigration. What is this province? I know by now you have already guessed it. Yes, this province is Prince Edward Island, and believe me, this is doing 6th PNP draw. Yes, 6th PNP draw by Prince Edward Island of 2023. And Prince Edward Island is such a small province, and it is like when you try to find it on a map of Canada, you won't be able to locate it. It is so small. So here I'm trying to tell you where the Prince Edward Island is. Here, right here, small island. It is small by size, but it is very focused in terms of immigration. So this is the province which calls people not just by one way, by 2 ways, by 3 ways. So 3 different ways Prince Edward Island calls people to Canada. So the first way, of course, is the federal option, wherein people who are migrating under the federal way can come to Prince Edward Island also. The second option is the PNP option, which we are going to talk about here. So the second option is a PNP option, and PNP has basically 2 broad categories, the worker category and the second one is entrepreneur category. So here, if you see, another important thing is the Atlantic immigration. Yes, Atlantic immigration is part of also Prince Edward Island. Prince Edward Island is one of the 4 provinces which is part of the Atlantic immigration program. So through Atlantic immigration program also, Prince Edward Island calls people to Canada. So 3 different ways: federal, PNP and AIP. So if you want to know more about AIP, you can watch my video in detail. I have explained what is Atlantic immigration program and how you can take the benefit of it. So for now, let's come back to the PNP, because here we are talking about the PNP draw. And another important thing which I want to share with you, this is the only province which shares in advance their schedule when they are conducting the draw. Right here is the schedule. You can go on their website and check yourself. So April 20th, that's when the draw happened. No other province provides you in advance the date when they are conducting the draw, but only Prince Edward Island does that. So April 20th draw happened. Of course, it is posted day before yesterday, and right here I am in front of you telling you about this draw. So what happened in the draw? Let us now see what happened in the draw. So PNP draw, it was done on April 20th and 189 people were called. Out of 189 people which were called, there is a express entry labor impact category and then there is a business category. In the business category, 9 people were called, and in the express entry, 180 people were called. So total 180 plus 9, 189 people were called. So this is the snapshot of Prince Edward Island draw. Now let us look at the overall picture, the overall snapshot of what has happened so far. That was just the draw. Now look at the entire year. So starting from January till now, 6 draw happened, and I am here sharing each and every detail, date by date, draw by draw information. So from January till now, total around 950 people have been called. 943 to be very precise. So have been called through PNP category. Here only PNP, not AIP. Prince Edward Island also calls many people through AIP category. So this was about the Prince Edward Island. Let's move on to another province. And this province has done the third PNP draw of April month. And this province is BC, beautiful British Columbia. So April 2023, they have done third draw, and we are going to talk about this third draw. The draw, now it was done on April 18th. It took like 1 or 2 days to get posted on their website, and here is the information. BC is the province which conducts draw every Tuesday. Every Tuesday they conduct draw. If Tuesday is a holiday, then draw is conducted on Wednesday. They post the draw on their website 1 or 2 days later, but they do the draw most of the time on Tuesday. So April 18th was Tuesday and draw was conducted. Also, I want to tell you that they do the alternative draws. One Tuesday they do tech draw, other Tuesday they do the general draw, plus they do the occupation targeted draw. So each draw which BC conduct has 2 parts. One part is where they do the general draw, and the other part is where they do the occupation specific draw. So here in the general category, 158 people were called. This general draw also includes tech people also. So next, the occupation specific. So occupation, if we look at the occupations, here are the occupation specific draw, right? So occupation, total number of people called were 49. In the occupation category, 29 people were called under the child care category, 16 were called under the healthcare category, and 4 were called under the veterinary category. So all this information is right here in front of you. 207 people were called. Out of 207, 158 were in the general category. 49 total were called under the category which is called occupation specific. Occupation specific, early childhood educator, 29 people. And then 16 healthcare workers, and lastly technologists, 4. So all this information is right in front of you. Now let's have a quick look at the snapshot. So snapshot tells you how many people have been called by this province so far. So far, if we look at the information, BC has called 3,496 people. Almost 3,500 people were called. And each month, in the January month, 1,100 people were called. February, 895 people were called. March, 980 people were called. April is currently going on. So in the April, 3 draw already happened. So 1 draw more probably will come. So that's the situation for BC. Let's move on to our last province for today, which is Manitoba. Manitoba has done the 8th PNP draw. 8th PNP draw of 2023. And you know what? People are saying everything is closed. No. Everything is not closed. On the federal side, yes, there is delay, but on the provincial side, no, there is not. So Manitoba also started occupation specific draws. In my previous videos, I have explained you that like many other provinces, Manitoba is also targeting on some occupations, and they have started occupation specific draws. And so they have basically divided their draw into two parts, occupation specific draw and the general draw. So occupation specific draws have already started. Now let's look at the draw which happened. So this draw is draw number 176. Each draw has a number. So in addition to these 8 draws, Manitoba also conducts draws for Ukraine. But we are not counting that because they are on some different level. So Ukraine, it is just to help people who are facing war, the Ukraine draws are conducted. So expression of interest, 176 people were called, and occupation specific people who are called are 249. What are the occupations which are targeted? So the occupations which are targeted are sales and retail service. So sales and service occupations are targeted 63 and 64. So here 63 and 64 you won't be able to understand until you know what the knock codes are and how knock codes and TEER function. If you want to know more about knock and TEER, you can watch my video from knock to TEER. You can watch that. It will give you the detailed explanation of all these things about the knock code. So now let's look at the draw, the PNP draw Manitoba has conducted. So this is the general draw, and sometimes it's hard to read from here. So I am presenting everything in the form of the highlights. Right here, 249 people are called, and 249 people are called are under the occupation specific draw. 63, 64. The knock codes which are starting from 63, 64, sales and service occupations. And here if you look, the score is less. And also please mind it, this score is not CRS score. This is Manitoba's own matrix. In my all previous videos I have explained in detail about this matrix, and Manitoba is the only province which does negative marking. So here you can see it has 615 score. Then 194 people were invited for all occupation category. The score little bit increased, 651. And 26 people were invited which are from skilled overseas category. Here the score goes up, and it's always for skilled overseas category score is always higher side. And lastly, international education stream. This is for the students who come and study in Manitoba international education stream. Total 507 people were called. They were issued letter of advice to apply. Letter of advice to apply is just like the ITA invitation to apply. It's just the name is different. So out of 507 people, 91 people were those who have express entry profile and express entry ID. This is the importance of express entry. If you qualify and if you have all the required things to do, please make express entry profile. It will help you in also getting the PNP nomination. So this is about the draw. Now let's have a look at the snapshot. The snapshot of how many people were called. As I mentioned, 8. This is 8th draw by Manitoba, and Manitoba conducts 2 draws every month. One in the starting, one in the end. So 2 draw they conduct, January 2 draw, February 2 draw, March 2 draw and April 2 draw. 8th draw. So 8th draw and total people invited are 3,785. So this is the information about the 3 recent draws. Nothing is closed, my friend, and things are going on. Yes, there are delays, but we'll keep you posted. We are open, and on the provincial side also things are open. So if you need to discuss your case, you can book an appointment, and our address, email ID and phone number, everything is shared right here with you. And very important thing, if you have still not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. Our team puts lots of effort to bring all this information to you, and thank you very much for watching the video. Thanks.